In the morning, Chloe comes out to the living room where Xander sits at a table. She thanks him for the comfortable mattress, and he asks what's on the menu for breakfast. When she scoffs, he reminds her of their deal. She reminds him that she offered to help out, not be his full-time housekeeper. She knew this was a bad idea and storms off to pack. He stops her and apologizes. After making more gaffes, Xander offers to take her to breakfast, where they can hash out their living arrangement. In Seattle, Tripp feeds Wendy peppers and eggs that he made from his mom's recipe. Wendy could get used to this. After they eat, they fawn all over each other. A phone call interrupts their near kiss. Wendy answers to Johnny, who is surprised she's still in Seattle. She stayed to help with Joey, who just got home from the hospital. She'll be back soon though. He's glad because he misses her. At home, Channel comes out to the living room in her robe as Paulina and Abe eat pancakes. They discuss Channel's date and how her bakery won't open until they find out who is behind the tainted biscuits. Paulina orders Abe to help her light a fire under that commissioner of his. From his motel room, Colin calls Talia to ask about her date with Channel. While she gets Channel to fall in love with her, he'll be focusing on her mother. Eating breakfast at the pub, Talia asks what that means. Jada enters and asks who she's talking to. Talia lies that she was talking to Chanel about her mother's panic attacks. When Jada notes she's being awfully defensive, Talia leaves. Abe follows Paulina into Rafe's office. She demands to know why Sloan hasn't been arrested yet. Raf's smug silence leads Paulina to assume there's another suspect. He admits Jada suspected Talia. Paulina can't believe she'd be involved in something so sinister, especially since she's dating Channel. Johnny comes to see Channel at Paulina's place. He's worried he's losing Wendy to Tripp. Maybe he should go to Seattle and woo her. Channel suggests he lie low and not smother her. He agrees. She grins as she tells him about her date with Talia. It started out great, but then things got awkward. She hasn't heard from Talia since, and it's driving her crazy. Johnny suggests she take her own advice and play it cool. But if Talia can't see how amazing Channel is, she's a damn fool. She wishes him luck with Wendy as Johnny gets up to leave. She wistfully watches him saunter out the door. In Seattle, Wendy muses to Tripp that she should get back home today. Tripp says he'll be back in Salem soon, but he's staying a few more weeks until Joey gets back on his feet. He'd like her to stay so they can be together without all the other distractions. Wendy can't work remotely for that long. Plus, she's worried about Lai. Tripp assumes she's really just choosing Johnny. Wendy isn't choosing anyone. She likes them both in different ways. Tripp has hope she'll see how right they are for each other. Wendy says she just might, confirming that he's not out of the running. Talia comes to Colin's motel room, worried about his plans for Paulina. He wants Talia to trigger a panic attack in her. Talia shoots down his plan. He'll come up with something else, while Talia makes Chanel fall in love with her. He assures a reluctant Talia that they can be happy once they take down Paulina and Chanel. He tells her how much he loves her and passionately kisses her. At the pub, Xander and Chloe sit down with Jada. Xander asks if she arrested Sloan yet for the biscuits. Jada can't discuss an open investigation, but wonders why he's so invested. Xander feels bad about Channel's bakery closing down. Her employee is even living at the seedy motel. Jada shifts uneasily. She tells them Talia is her sister and lives with her. Xander cringes, assuming Talia is shacking up with that awful Brit then. Jada asks for his room number. When Xander hedges, she flashes her badge and asks again. He tells her room 106. Jada leaves and Xander helps himself to her breakfast. In Seattle, Wendy books a flight and a rideshare. Tripp was hoping for a romantic airport goodbye like in Casablanca. Wendy says they can do that right there. Tripp deeply kisses her. When her car arrives, Wendy says they'll always have Seattle. A goofy grin spreads over Tripp's face as she leaves. From home, Channel leaves a message for Talia. She had a great time, but they can go back to being friends if it's not mutual. Talia comes to her door with flowers. Days of Our Lives now exclusively airs on Peacock. To make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe to Peacock. Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale.